In this video, I'm going to show you how you can freestyle at the level of Juice Wrld. I have a free rap flow course below that will help you. I have a freestyle training that will help you. But in this video, I'm going to give you a specific exercise that you can do to start getting to the Juice Wrld level. I've broken it down really simply. I've been reacting to Juice Wrld a lot, watching lots of his freestyles. And I keep on seeing the same things and talking about the same things. And people are complaining, why do you keep saying the same things? Because it keeps it simple and it'll help you guys. So you have to go in order. That's the number one thing. You have to go through these steps in order. If you go through these steps in order, you'll do well. If you don't go through these steps in order, it'll be a lot harder, almost impossible to reach that level. All right. As you can see, the first step is flow. What you really want to do is focus on your flow. And I'm not talking about flow with words. I'm talking about learning how to scat over beats. That's just mumbling like if you listen to Juice Wrld, in between when he's thinking about rhymes, he's like scatting like or like yeah. That shows that he's on flow because he's always playing with the beat with his voice. He's showing his musicality with his flow, and he has amazing musicality. Juice Wrld has amazing flow. So the first step to freestyle rap like Juice Wrld is you want to focus on your flow. So how do you improve your flow? How do we do that? The best way is to put on all different types of beats and practice just mumbling without words. Because most new rappers, as rappers, we love words. This is how I was when I started out. We just write in our notebook, but we're not working on flow. We're not working on delivery. We're not working on being musical. Luckily, I was raised by my mom, who was a jazz singer, a world jazz singer, and she introduced me to Shaka Khan, who does scatting. She introduced me to Bobby McFerrin, who does scatting. And so I was surrounded by a lot of scatting. And so when it came to finally, I was really scared to rap out loud in front of people, but when it came to finally do it, I did have a sense, and I felt like I had something there, but it's because I was always listening to scatting. And I think it's really important. You don't need to have a mom who sings jazz to be able to learn this. Biggie had a mentor when he was 16. I didn't learn to freestyle till I was 16. Biggie had a mentor when he was 16. He had already been rapping and writing, but he had a problem with his flow, and he wasn't totally clear with his flow. So this jazz guy had Biggie just sing scats over beats, like over jazz records. He would put on jazz records and have Biggie scat over the beats. And that just got and just scatting. And the awesome thing about scatting is just mumbling. A lot of people don't know what scatting is. It's just mumbling or saying any kind of sound you want. And I have a free scatting course below that'll help you get started. In that class, all we do is use the words like bada, bada, bada. So you can use that or any kind of word you want. Just don't use real words, because if you're trying to use real words during your scat, you're going to take yourself out of the flow. And first thing you want to do to hyper focus on flow to be able to reach that Juice Wrld level is master your flow. Get really good at just being like, it's such an important thing for songwriting. It's the foundation of everything, because if the flow doesn't sound good, no one wants to hear your lyrics. People don't want to hear that, but a lot of people learn how to rap backwards. We learn how to write first, and it's just, we all learn how to write first because that's how we learn at school. But have you ever seen those videos of babies freestyling where they're just mumbling? The babies got flow. And that's the foundation of songwriting. It's the foundation of freestyling. And it's what I recommend doing. Go back to being a baby, mumble, bumble, just say whatever over beats. Free scatting course below to help you with that level. You need to have that down before you move on to the next steps, because it's going to be really hard to add actual words in there if you're not comfortable coming up with different flows on top of beats. All right, the next step is passion topics. Once you have your flows, then what you want to do is you want to figure out what you like to rap about or what makes you unique. And that can be really hard. It can be really intimidating, especially when you're listening to Juice Wrld and listening to other famous rappers. It's really easy to get pulled into their world because they know their passion topics. They've created their own worlds around their passion topics, which made them stars. They suck people into their own world because they stay in their own world and they stay into things that they like. And with music, when you're expressing yourself over beats, you're expressing your inner world. And if other people hear you enough, they're going to be pulled into your world. And so what I encourage you guys to do is to develop your own world. Like Juice Wrld has had his own world. And in his world, his passion topics were video games, anime, guns, having sex, stealing your girlfriend, having sex with your girlfriend, shooting people. Yeah, did I say guns? Diamonds. He's really into sports. He knows a lot about sports. He knows a lot about other rappers. And so what you got to do is to get into your own world and to ignore Juice Wrld's world and to ignore other people's worlds and all these other rappers you like. You want to ignore their worlds and figure out what makes you special. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. Thanks for Trevi and Joseph. So you got to figure out what makes you special. And it's not like a big deal. You just figure out what things that you like. It could be really nerdy things like baseball cards. Maybe you collect ants. Maybe you collect stamps. Maybe you're really into Game of Thrones. Maybe you're into Harry Potter. Maybe you're into Star Wars. Like Juice Wrld's actually always also into Star Wars. But you have to think about what things you really like. List out 20 subjects that you're really into. Once you have these 20 subjects, you can start to develop your own world. We'll go to the next step in a second. But first, get those things. The more nerdy and the more weird, the better. Okay, so the more like far out there. So for me, I got cheated on. I have a lot of passion around. Oh yeah, so passion could be something good. It could be something bad. So for me, it could be something emotional. For me, it's like I was always been girl crazy growing up, and so I would get into a lot of trouble or just embarrass myself trying to mac on girls or, approach women, and it wouldn't work out. They would diss me, and so I would rap about that, make songs about that. I could freestyle full songs about that, because I would put myself in vulnerable positions, and girls would diss me. I tried to talk to a girl at a bank. I thought she was really hot, and she didn't like me, and I gave her a CD of a song that I just freestyled in one take. It's called Bike Riding, so I rode a bike to go talk to her or to deposit a check, and I met her. Anyways, it's really embarrassing. And so because I had all this embarrassment, all this shame, I had material and energy to put out on a freestyle. So the more different things that you're really into, the more you're gonna have to freestyle about. And that's for you to decide, what are the things that you know the most about? Is it emotional stuff? Is it emotional trauma? Is it something like baseball cards? It doesn't have to be that deep, but it depends on what kind of stuff you're into, yeah, it could be really deep. It could be really emotional about your past traumas. A recent trauma could be about a teacher stepped on your foot or gave you an F in school, or your boss fired you. You could just do a battle rap about your boss, Okay, so Joseph Gonzalez says, girls are his passion topic as well. Yeah, it's a good one because there's so many different things that can happen with girls. I mean, get dissed by them, all these different things. All right, anyways, once you have your 20 passion topics, all right, I can go off on girls forever, all right? I go crazy, man. As I say, I'm girl crazy. Then you want to turn your topics into punchlines. So how do you do that? I'm going to give you some examples. But first, to turn your topics into punchlines, what you want to do is you want to think about how you can relate your topics to yourself. Let's say you're into Harry Potter, or I'll give you a better example. Juice Wrld has Skywalking Like a Mannequin. He's into Star Wars, okay? This is a really dope line, Skywalking Like a Mannequin. He says it in a lot of different freestyles because it's such a dope line. And it has like double entendres, right? So it's skywalking, right? So that means he's high, right? So Juice Wrld likes drugs, skywalking, right? Walking on the sky, like he's Anakin. So he's comparing himself to a character in Star Wars. So he's into Star Wars and he's into getting high. He took two of his passion topics and combined them into a punchline, skywalking like a mannequin, all right? And then here's one that I just came up with, not the best, but with your girl, like say you're into soccer, like maybe you're into soccer, maybe you're into the old soccer players. With your girl, I'm scoring goals like Maradona, all right? So you're scoring, scoring could mean having sex. It could also mean scoring goals. It's a double entendre. It doesn't have to always be a double entendre, but I'm using my passion. I like soccer, scoring goals like Maradona, right? On your girl or whatever, all right? There's another one I was playing with. I'm always scoring with your girl. She calls me Maradona, all right? So that's a metaphor. The first one is a simile, all right? So what you want to do, take your list of the 20 passion topics and start writing similes and metaphors for each one. You want to try to come up with 20 very different original punchlines related to your passion topics. You take your topic and you relate it back to yourself. Okay, so maybe you're really into Harry Potter. You can talk about how magic you are. Maybe you're into Godzilla. They step on MCs like Godzilla, So that's a simile. Or I step on MCs, they call me Godzilla. That's a metaphor, right? When they call you Godzilla, you are Godzilla. Then that's a metaphor. And when they say I'm like Godzilla, that's a simile, okay? All right. Here's one for me that I came up with. I was like, okay, I really love peanut butter. And I also like imagining myself stealing girlfriends, even though I don't do that, but like, I wish I had that kind of game. But your girl's jelly. She wants me to be her peanut butter. Your girl's jelly, I don't know how that flows out. Your girl's jelly, she wants me to be her peanut butter. I could figure out how to put that in a freestyle. It'd be cool. But the awesome thing about this line, I just came up with this right before the video. Your girl's jelly, right? It's a double entendre. She could be jealous, and she's like the jelly, the sweet jelly. She wants me to be her peanut butter, right? That could be really disgusting. But it could also just be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, Yeah, that'd be cool if we freestyle, man. I love freestyling. But yeah, so that's it. So all you want to do, it doesn't have to be super deep punchlines. It doesn't have to be super crazy. All you need to do, take your 20 subjects and write out setups lines and punchlines for each one. Try to come up with 20 punchlines, and these are lines that you can recycle in freestyles. But also, you don't have to use these lines. These lines are also going to train you how to think in similes and metaphors, because Juice Wrld's amazing at coming up with metaphors, but all of his metaphors are related to his passion topics. He's comparing his passion topics to himself. So if you want to do that, and that's what kind of makes Juice Wrld's freestyles really, really special. The number one thing is that he has amazing flow. Second thing is he thinks in terms of similes and metaphors, and we're not used to doing that. But by doing this practice of just doing it on paper, because it's like writing is like freestyling slowed down. You take the time, you write it out, you can train your mind to start thinking in terms of similes and metaphors. How am I like this camera? I'm looking at you just like a camera. I'm looking at your girl like I'm a camera, So how am I like a light? I'm shining on your girl. Like, so for me, I like girls, so I'm like, I'm going to shine on your girl. Like this light, I'm going to burn her skin because I'm bright. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, because I got STDs. All right, anyways. So that's a really great way to learn how to freestyle rap like Juice Wrld. I hope that helps. Take my free rap flow course to help take care of number one. That's people's number one problems with rap flow. Take that free rap flow course. If you want step-by-step exercises that feel like you're training with me one-on-one, freestyling back and forth with me one-on-one, I made it really cheap to do that. So instead of having to pay me hourly, you can just get the course. It's cheap, and it includes 2 free courses, a course to take you all the way to the Juice Wrld level, and then another course to take you all the way to the Harry Mack level. But it starts out with helping you have your foundation of flow so that you don't get stuck.